So today we're going to talk about the types of cells and cell structures. Um, you will need to make sure that you write this down because it is definitely important for your test for next week. Not next week, you're not taking the test. I mean, your assignment that you will be doing with your partners. Um, Prokaryotic cells are cells that have no nucleus and instead they're mostly bacteria. And so when you get sick, these are the cells that are in your body that make you sick. Um, so make sure that you write all this down. You have about 3 minutes. They are a single celled organism. Those are examples of some. They reproduce asexually, which means that they don't have to have a partner. So they will automatically reproduce. And that's why there's some that reproduce so much. That's how you get sick. This was supposed to be ear. Let me fix this, show because this is gonna annoy me. Eukaryotic cells. Uh, that's what it should say. Eukaryotic cells, they have a nucleus. Um, these are protozoans, animal cells, fungi, plant cells. Um, also, these cells, the only way that they produce is sexually as well as asexually. Um, and we will get into photosynthesis with animals, with plants, and then we will go into meiosis with animals and in humans. Um, but that's a later date, later time. So the cell membrane, plant cells and animal cells have cell membranes. Uh, because most of the time plant cells have cell walls. Um, so usually whatever goes through the cell wall will have to go through the cell membrane after. Opposite when it comes to animal cells. But these are located outside the cellular structure. Um, they're pretty much the glue. And as you will notice, um, it's like a pretty much like a wall, but it looks like a ridge at the same time. And in this picture, it all is not the same. They're all different. So the main purpose of the cell membrane is not only does it protect the inside of the cell, but it also controls what substance comes in and out of the cell. So regardless if it is food or oxygen that enters through the cell membrane, harmful waste products leave the cell through the cell membrane. For a cell to survive, the cell membrane must allow the materials to pass through, in or out, and is like a window screen. The screen keeps the insects out of the room, but the holes in the screen allow air to enter and leave the room. So make sure you're only writing the yellow part. So the cell wall, as you can tell, the purple type of structure that's really purple and dark blue with the circles in between it, that is the cellular membrane. Everything to the right of it, that is the cell wall. So the cell wall pretty much does the same thing as the cellular membrane. It lets stuff in, it lets stuff out. But it is a rigid and a stiff structure surrounding the cell membrane. To protect it, it provides the shape and the support for the cell and protects them from injury and shocks. And if you didn't get to write it all, it's all good, I promise. Cytoplasm is a thick, clear jelly-like substance that's present inside the cellular membrane. And it is the area between the cellular membrane and the nucleus, and it contains jelly-like fluid which many different organisms are found. So it is pretty much like imagine a pool that you have, or even a bathtub, and you know how you throw toys in them and they're just chilling. That's pretty much what the cytoplasm is. The cytoplasm is pretty much the water and it just covers everything around it or what's in it. So the nucleus holds all your DNA information. That's where your heredity material is in the cell. It also sends to the cell to grow, mature, divide, die. It is pretty much the nucleus is the brain of the cell. Um, the nucleus is surrounded by the nuclear envelope that separates the DNA from the rest of the cell. Um, the nucleus protects the DNA. Um, the animal cells don't have one. They have one, but there's a lot of difference, and we'll go over that next week when we do our activity. The nucleolus is the site of, so you see like all that gross stuff that's on there. Um, we won't be talking about this too much because this is what it's good to know, but not to know. So don't write this down. Um, because this is more of AP biology. So this is pretty much college level biology. Um, so don't worry about the nucleus stuff. The nuclear membrane, though, protects the nucleus by forming a boundary between the nucleus and other cellular organisms. So the nuclear membrane is pretty much just like the cellular membrane, but just inside the cell. And it only protects that one organism. Chromosomes play a crucial role in determining your sex of an individual. Each human has contained 23 pairs of chromosomes, a total of 26. Um, if you subtract or add a chromosome, it will affect you tremendously. Depending on where it is in the structure of your DNA or which chromosome it is, um, it could be detrimental or it could be little itty bitty things. And a lot of times, unless you go get an in-depth test from your doctor, um, you will nowhere know that if you don't have or you're missing something. Only time people go check if they're missing something if they can tell around 3 years old that the student, well, the child, is having delays. And so that's when usually parents go get the person checked out. Or something mysterious medically happens to you when you're older in life. You're like, what in the world? And you go to the doctor, and that's when they will find out.